So, a concerning situation will begin to unfold tonight and into tomorrow, as SPC has out for tonight a slight risk. We'll go over this briefly before discussing tomorrow's risk. We have a small tornado risks. There are two small 5% regions, but this is not our main concern. Hail is our main concern. We have a hatched risk stretching from Fort Worth, or including Norman, Wichita Falls, Lawton, San Angelo, Abilene. Um, you guys need to be aware tonight because large hail is a concern, so you need to be weather aware for any spin-up tornadoes as well. But we need to really get into talking about tomorrow. We have a 4 out of 5 moderate risk. This is centered over the Arklamis region, which includes Jackson, Pine Bluff, Monroe, Greenville, and Vicksburg. This is 100% solely driven by a 15% hatched risk of tornadoes. We could be seeing some strong, possibly long-track tornadoes tomorrow. As we watch the system, I'll show you the simulated reflectivity, but this is very concerning. We'll talk more about this in depth when we go to the models. Wind risk, we have a 30% risk. Part of it is hatched, especially the northern portions. We'll talk about why that is, and this may or may not get upgraded to a 45% because this will bow out. This line of storms will bow out and eventually be able to produce very significant damaging winds. And hail, 15% risk, not our main risk, but still there. Let's go to the models. This is the 18Z HRRR run, the 1 kilometer reflectivity. So tonight you can see that train of storms is just going to be moving northeast through the same regions, and we'll talk about the flooding risk soon. But you can see this is a line of storms and a QLCS. It will move out and be replaced by this, a much more potent line of storms with prefrontal supercells. Let me get that up again. So we will be likely seeing some prefrontal supercells out in Mississippi and Louisiana in the open warm sector ahead of the line. So this is very concerning because any supercell that gets ahead of the line and maintains itself will be able to produce a long track, strong tornado. But it has to stay out ahead of the line and maintain itself. And it appears those will likely do so. But they will eventually join with the line. Even if we don't get prefrontal supercells, the southern end of the storm will be semi-discrete. So these storms at the southern tip of the line will have the opportunity to produce, again, long track, strong tornadoes. Let's take a sounding real quick out of this area, and these parameters are just they are very concerning. We can see there's a little bit of a loaded gun look to this, which indicates that we can have or the parameters are in place for a big classic Dixie Alley tornado outbreak. Hodograph, again, we can see this is a very concerning hodograph. This hodograph indicates that we have high levels of wind shear or veering winds higher in the atmosphere. So again, this is a highly sheared atmosphere and a very volatile atmosphere. So any storm that can get out ahead of the line, or the southern storms that can maintain themselves, will have the opportunity to produce strong, possibly long-track tornadoes. Now, you can see here as we go back over this area, Kentucky, Illinois, parts of Tennessee, and the Missouri Boothole especially, will just be receiving multiple rounds of rain in the Ohio Valley. And you can see just multiple rounds of rain and storms will track over this area, and that's why the Weather Prediction Center has issued a Day 1 and Day 2 moderate risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding. That extends from Missouri all the way up to Ohio. And again, this is going to be a lot of rain for these areas, and we could be seeing widespread flash flooding. We could be seeing a lot of problems regarding this. Many people disregard flash flooding entirely because it's not tornadoes, but this has the opportunity to be very dangerous, very damaging. So if you're in these areas, you need to be aware and be on the lookout for this flooding tomorrow, as looks to be a very serious situation in regard to both flooding and severe weather. So, how can you prepare for tomorrow? You need to have a safety plan, know where you're going to be when the storms hit. These will be evening or nighttime storms. So depending on, I mean, you may be at various different places, but no matter where you are, you need to have a safety plan that you can execute wherever you are. So you need if and when you are under a warning, you need to get to the lowest floor, away from windows, most interior room of your house. Get a helmet. Cover yourself with pillows and blankets if you're under a tornado warning. Now, we need to discuss why I believe a 45% wind risk may be introduced. First of all, you can see here, there's many, or not many, but there are some prefrontal supercells that I believe will produce tornadoes. But what about this line up north especially? Well, this is going to bow out, and this is a very strong line of storms. And this can produce widespread, probably or possibly significant damaging winds in excess of 75 miles an hour. And I believe that a 45% wind risk may be introduced tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to discuss if this is going to be a high risk or not. There's a lot of stuff related to that I'm just not going to discuss. But moderate risk or high risk, the event's going to do what it's going to do. So you need to be ready. You need to be prepared for this tomorrow. I will likely go live tomorrow. I have plans to go live, so I think this is going to be a dangerous situation, but we'll be there to cover it. And with that, I think that's all I got for today. So thank you for watching and stay safe.